concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion, talking killing rappers, then I hit my quota. And my train of thought is more a locomotive, talking reason for it, I got locomotive. Used to be on a revenge tip, on a stun on my ex in a France tip. I was Spider-Man whipping the black suit, I was powerful but almost lost Luke. Blurring the line between human and artist, try not to change but I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up they turn you to a target. Home was a trip, my life ain't when I'm talking. So, what it take to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. My me with the label, it feels on the table one sign, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking missiles of hits, but other than me, I see no heat exists. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green, go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me, know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee, Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green. I might begin making a feature Iraq. Cause when I hit your beat, I turn shit to Iraq. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This your house, then I'm kicking you out. Quiet as a mouse, came in the game, not a word is out that I've been lighting the flame. Shit is potent, don't you know it? I've been flowing, steady growing till they know the name. Saw it ahead of time, knew that I'd get to my losing myself in the view, there's some window pane. I swear I'm all about peace, I'm a positive person. Wasn't always like that, you know it took me some learning. They asked me how I push a positive light, how I keep my composure through internal fights when addressing the mic through these dark nights. Where the Bruce Wayne, what a trick be. Here's some truth that I'll let free. Bruce Banner of rap if you ask me. When my will to win and the track meet, the secret is I'm always angry. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green, go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me, know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee, Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green.
Evening, y'all. Evening. Let's get it going. All right. Hey, thanks for being here, guys. If you're already in the chat, if you're still on TikTok, that's cool. You're not watching the show. You're just sitting here watching a little figment of the show. We got it up on the screen. We got the graphics going. It's nice to see everybody here tonight. There's no basketball game to compete with. It ain't on our level anyways. You guys know the deal. The way the show works, we're going to talk about what's trending in the world of sports. We're going to have a good time with it. Eventually, I'll hit the transfer portal. And more importantly, I'm going to hit your questions, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with I'll probably do 2 or 3 trending headlines, and we'll go from there. And then you guys can write your questions and get ahead of the game here. So last night we got flooded with questions. The show will last as long as you guys ask questions. And then once we run out of questions, we go green and we call it a night. So if you're writing me questions on TikTok, you are wasting your breath, time, energy, and effort. You need to go to YouTube. The link's in the home screen. You can go to YouTube, search Rico Knows, start subscribing, start following, watching the YouTube videos, and go from there. And if you come on over, I got you. So there we go. Now, what's trending, guys? Let me tell you what's trending here. Number 1, Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro not cleared to play in the game for the NBA Finals. He's out for Friday. He's not yet cleared to play. Guys, he has a broken hand. Who thinks Tyler Herro is coming back to make any type of difference with a broken hand? I got news for you. If you're on the Heat team and Tyler Herro is better than you with a broken hand, basketball's not for you, bruh. You need your hands. Who is he? Who is trying to play with no hands? It says here, and I want to make this very clear, he has been unable to clear the final hurdle to get cleared for the game. What the hell is the final hurdle with a broken hand? Well, let's go find out this quote down here. It says, this is just part of the process, according to Spoelstra. You have to go through stages. All right. The first part is just shooting. Okay, so you can shoot. You can shoot with the other hand. You can shoot with this broken hand. All right. Next, it says contact versus coaches. What? You got to beat your coaches one-on-one? You got to go in there and bang around and beat the coaches on the court? Then it says, and then the next level of contact in practice. He's not been cleared for the game, and he's still not cleared yet. So hold on. I'm assuming, we're talking about this, I'm assuming he's balling up the coaches right now. I'm just making an assumption here. And he hasn't been cleared. He hasn't gone to practice and done it against his teammates yet. Well, I'm going to guess he doesn't want to get hurt. Look, man, Tyler Herro's young. You know, when I was a young man, they used to tell me there was this defensive back in the NFL, and they used to say, oh, he's not ready to play this week. He has turf toe. And we all talked shit about him. We all made fun of him. He has turf toe. We never let him really recover. People just wanted to see him out there on the field. He's got turf toe. He's missing a game. Ha ha. He's missing a game. Well, you need your toes to run. You need your toes to stop, to have balance. But we made fun of him anyways. So here we have Tyler Herro. He doesn't have a hand. It's broken right now. Let it heal, bro. Sit this one out. You're not going to make a difference in this series. You're just not. Sit this one out, Tyler Herro. You're not the hero. Not all heroes wear capes. I'm sitting here capeless. I'm a real hero. You don't believe me? I'm a hero to somebody. Somebody out there is bragging about me right now. That's what I used to tell my young soldiers. They'd be telling me how much they hated throwing the trash or flipping rocks or cutting grass. And I'd say, dude, you're a hero to somebody. You got an aunt back at home bragging about how you're in the service. She doesn't know you're PFC shitbag and didn't amount to anything and lost all your rank. She doesn't know. You're a hero to somebody. Hang in there. But Tyler Herro, you got one hand, bro. Sit this one out. And that player I'm talking about with the turf toe was Coach Prime. Today he doesn't have two of his toes. And have you seen his toes? We should have let those things heal. Should have got off his back. That's all I'm saying. So the number one thing trending in the world of sports on Twitter today is Dame Lillard, the rapper turned basketball player. Dame Lillard, he's an amazing rapper, by the way. He went out and he did an interview, and in the interview, he ripped the Lakers for benching Russell Westbrook. And I don't understand where he's coming from. I don't know what his deal is. Questioning the Lakers' leadership, management, or decision-making is absurd. Russell Westbrook is still Russell Westbrook. He is still complete and utter trash. Dude, he is must-miss TV. Like, turn the TV off if this guy's on. Right up there with anytime I see a video of that's Rick-rolled, I just turn it off. I can't watch it. You know, I refuse to watch things and give it ratings. If I don't want it on TV, I'm not giving it ratings. Russell Westbrook will never get ratings from me because I don't want him on TV. The same goes for all you ladies who fall asleep at night and you got it on that channel and it's a Roseanne rerun or a Full House rerun at 2 in the morning. You're giving those crappy shows ratings at 2 in the morning. Stop it. Just put it on HLN. Fall asleep to Forensic Files like the rest of us psychos, and you'll be all right. We just got to give Forensic Files more ratings, not, I don't know, the George Lopez show at 2 in the morning. This shit is trash, bro. I promise you guys. But Dame Lillard, this is all a smear campaign. This is the NBA and the media wanting Dame Lillard in a bigger city, in a bigger TV market. They want to make drama out of nothing. They want to make it seem like he's unhappy and not wanted in Portland. They don't want him. He doesn't want to be there. All this shit. Bro, money talks. Money talks. Get your Supermax contract and sit down. I don't want to see him in another city. I don't need to see him go to Phoenix. They need a guard. Let's go to Phoenix and let's create a team and win it all. Dude, Dame Lillard, just be an all-time great in Portland. That's your legacy. Make that your legacy. Don't go the other route, bro. Don't do it. Or go back to your first profession and be a rapper. I'm just saying. Tyreek Hill, bro, wants to break the record for having over 2,000 yards in a season. Number one, that's not that impressive. I want to make this very clear. 2,000 receiving yards is not that impressive, and I know a lot of people think it is. But in 17 games, hold up now. Let's pull this up. Let's pull up a calculator. 2,000 divided by 17 games. It's 117 yards a game. So let's go 118 a game. Is that hard to do as a receiver? Not necessarily. Not with the targets and the passing they're doing nowadays. 117 yards a game. It's not impossible. But it is impossible when you say something like this. I've got the right tools around me. I've obviously got the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. Is he talking? Is he saying Kirk Cousins is in Miami? What is he doing? He doesn't have the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. That is propaganda nonsense. But 2,000 yards isn't impossible. I'm not impressed. And, Kirk Cousins ain't walking through that door, brother. So it is what it is. More power to him. All right, before we go on, I'm going to take some questions here. Let's go to the chat and go to the questions. Seth H. comes in. He says, first. Shout out to Seth H. He says, first. And then he says, Willie Bobo, where you at? So for the first time in the history of the show, somebody beat Willie Bobo to the chat. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Welcome in, folks. Hammer the like button. Also, only need to ask the question once. Yes, you do. Only once. I will get to it. I just like to let the chat build up. We'll get to it eventually. Hang in there. Your question will be answered. You repeat it, you might get muted. So my admins don't play that. Lewis Henton, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thoughts on Iowa this year? Jake Maccabee. I don't typically think about Iowa, but if you want me to talk about it, I think they're improved. I think they improved their offense. But they lost some really big studs in the I said the transfer portal. How about in the NFL draft? They lost some key pieces to their defense in the NFL draft. Now they develop players everywhere. They do all their part, and Iowa's always going to be that team. But they kept Ferentz at offensive coordinator. I'm not talking about Kirk. I'm talking about Brian. And that's a problem. Now they got an upgraded quarterback. Trust me, their quarterback play last year, the worst. Has anybody ever looked up Iowa's quarterback play? Oh, my goodness. Just thought about this right now. Let me pull this up. If you go and you do this, I don't know if anybody does what I do, but let me show you. I do this stuff all the time. I just think about something, and then I go, let me go study it. Check it out. Now, you can blame the offensive coordinator, but the players got to play. I'm looking at, and I'm going to scroll roll so you guys can see it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm hoping everybody can see this. Look at this. Look at these completion percentages for their quarterbacks. All right? 58% is the top one, Joe Labus or whatever his name is. But check out Alex Padilla being one of the worst quarterbacks ever. Oh, by the way, Alex Padilla just transferred to SMU. Okay, this guy just transferred to SMU. But if this was a quarterback stat line, this bottom part down here, if a guy threw for 2,000 yards in a season, well, that's appalling. That's terrible. With a 55% completion percentage, trash. That's Anthony Richardson status. A little better than Anthony Richardson, but still, right? And then he had 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. They didn't have a quarterback, and then one guy got sacked 32 times. We know Iowa's got linemen. You got sacked 32 times. You lost 228 yards in sacks. If you guys go study quarterbacks, this should not be happening. This should not be happening. They do have a good running back in Caleb Johnson. But how about Alex Padilla transferring to SMU? How did he get another job, bro? How did anybody see tape of him and say, I'll give you a scholarship? I'll give you a scholarship. There's quarterbacks in the transfer portal right now better than Alex Padilla. I promise you. But they ain't got a job because Alex Padilla signed in the winter. He left in the winter and got picked up. But my goodness, is Iowa bad. Now, their offense was terrible last year. They got huge upgrades on offense. Eric All. They got a quarterback. They got a stud linebacker. They're still a quality team. So what do I think about them? Let's pull up their schedule. Believe it or not, they're going to beat Utah State. But you see this game right here going to Iowa State? This is going to tell me everything I need to know about them. I don't think they win that game. I don't think they win that game, and I think that's a news to Iowa fans. I think they're going to lose to Iowa State. I could be wrong, but I got a whole channel called Rico Knows because I'm very rarely wrong. I am very rarely wrong. I think I have a playlist called I Am Right on TikTok, and I drop videos in there every time I'm right, and I'm right every day. And I'm not wrong every day. I think on my I Am Wrong playlist, there's 4 videos. And one of them was just throwing out random guesses at who was going to win upsets at March Madness. Everybody gets that shit wrong. I got the winner right, by the way. But, yeah, I feel like Iowa State is a very good football team. People don't talk about it, but Iowa State, what'd they win, 4 games last year? They got their quarterback coming back. When you look at Iowa State last year, I'll scroll back and show you guys. Iowa State just last year. Look at all those losses. They look terrible, right? No. They beat Iowa, number one. They beat a 10-win Ohio team like it was nothing. They smashed a 10-win Ohio team. And you see this Deckers guy right here? He's still on the team. Deckers is everything. Okay? And more importantly, they lost to Baylor, but it was 7 points. KU, 3 points. Conference champ, 1 point. Texas, okay. They won against West Virginia. They lost by 7. They lost by 6, by 4. I'm telling you, I've shown this before. They lost 6 games by 1 possession or less. If there's a team out there that can pull a TCU flip, it's this team right here. They were competitive in all their losses. They could have very easily had a 10-win season. It's a problem right here. Iowa State's good. So I think Iowa's got their hands full with Iowa State on the road. Okay. I think they beat Western Michigan. The cupboard's bare there. They're going to lose to Penn State. So, look, here's a win. Here's a win. That's 2 wins. I think they beat Michigan State. That's 3 wins. They beat Purdue. That's 4. They beat Northwestern. That's 5. Rutgers, 6, 7. Looking at 8 wins max. 8 wins max for Iowa. That's how I feel. I don't see them beating at Wisconsin. Nope. And I think this coin flip here against Minnesota, give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota, especially after getting smashed at Wisconsin the week before. Give me Minnesota. Just saying. And watch Purdue give them a game. Yeah, Iowa, 8 wins. 9 wins max, but 8 wins. Give me 8. That's how I feel about Iowa. Thanks for the question. All right. What's next? The Heat has no chance on an off-shooting night for MPJ, and still Denver dominated. Yeah, I don't know who the hell MPJ is. I don't know who MPJ is, bro. A new well-off video shows Savion Wilkerson conditioning with the Buffs, most stacked running room in the conference. Andres Leon, have you studied the conference? Are you familiar with the conference of the Pac-12? Most stacked running back room in the conference? They're third at best. At best. Off the top of my dome, they're third at best and possibly fourth. No, possibly fifth. But third at best, I can't even go there really. Running back rooms in the conference, number 1 is USC. USC's running back room is not to be played with. They have 3 guys that can start anywhere. USC is no joke with their running back room. Number 2, Oregon. And USC doesn't even have the production Oregon has. But if I do Pac-12 rushing leaders from 2022, and I pull it up like this, and I pull up all the guys, Bucky Irvin's back, bro. He's the second leading rusher in the conference. That's a 1,000-yard rusher. Bucky Irvin's there. Oregon also had Bo Nix. Well, I'm not going to count Bo Nix, but they got Noah Whittington here. But Oregon State's running back room is loaded. Oregon State has Damian Martinez, Jamaris Griffin, and Deshaun Fenwick. Like, they got 3 grown-ass men in there. Oregon State, USC, I mean, I can't even have that conversation with you. USC, Oregon State, and then I got to go Utah. Tavares Jackson is real. But if I put Colorado right there with Utah, so they can't even get the top 3, and we're ignoring UCLA. UCLA has great running backs. Carson Strong, quarterback, Nevada. Carson Still just rushed for like 1,400 yards last year. Tripping, bruh. Absolutely tripping. I love the running backs at Colorado. I love them. To say they're the best running back room in the Pac-12 is blasphemous. It's absurd. That's absurd. I can't even go there with you. Can't get down with it. Not even a little bit. Not even. I'm dumbfounded. Like, do you know who Raleek Brown is? Do you know who? He's not even on this list. Do you know who Raleek Brown is? He's Reggie Bush reincarnated, bro. Go watch tape on Raleek Brown. We're not talking about potential running backs. We're talking about bona fide studs. It's crazy. I'm willing to say Colorado's fighting for 4th or 5th. And I love their running back room. Fighting for 4th or 5th. They just, whoa. Hell of a comment there, Andres. Thank you. Thank you. Thoughts on Auburn? I really don't think about Auburn all that much, Josh Porter. I think they're going to do the best of what they can. I think they have the potential, the talent to beat teams, to upset teams. But they didn't get it done last year, hence you fire your coach. But I hope Jarquez Hunter's ready to carry that load. But remember, even if Jarquez Hunter's the guy, even if he's the guy, and Batty spelling him, and I love Batty. If you guys want to watch a tape, want to watch a highlight tape, go watch Batty, the transfer from South Florida, the best player on South Florida last year. Jimmy Horn Jr. was on that team. Weaver was on that team. The best player on South Florida was Batty. Go watch him. Little running back, 5'6", explosive as hell. Deuce Vaughn status. Go watch him. And I'll tell you that Auburn, and they're using him as like a backup running back. It's great. So Auburn's got a shot. They got players. They got a tough schedule. Hugh Freeze, they got to implement some things. I love their offensive coordinator in Montgomery. I love the offensive line they got from the transfer portal. They got 3 starters. Do your thing. Good luck. It's going to be a couple years. Chief X messages are gone. Okay. Colorado running back room is best in the pack with Wilkerson. Yeah, that's just, you guys just talking crazy. You guys just talking, it's really good, but it's not the best in the pack. Like, that's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Please don't repeat your questions. Sylvan Wilkerson was practicing with the team today in Colorado. There you go. Please tell me what you think about Auburn football. Please stop repeating questions. Don't do that shit. You'll get muted forever. I will get to your questions when I get to them. You put them in the chat. If you got to wait 30 minutes, you wait 30 minutes. Welcome to the show. The soccer GOAT Messi is coming to USA. I'm a soccer fan. Any comment on that? Am I right to say that college ball is more fun and interesting than professional? It definitely is, and I talked about Messi last night. I can touch on it right now, but what I was going to tell you guys is I think Live Golf. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Live Golf. You're talking about soccer. My bad. I already talked about it, though. I talked about Messi last night. He made a deal. Passed up $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion with a B. Like boy. Yeah. You pass that up because you're going to go own a team. Owning a team is all the wealth you want. MLS is going to be huge. In 5-10 years, MLS will be bigger than anything we ever imagined. The teams are going to be evaluated at some absurd amount, like billions of dollars. Soccer is outrageous. And the United States, soccer is going to grow. And we always thought MLS was a laughingstock, a joke. I equated MLS to WNBA. Like, I don't give a shit. No, the teams are worth $900 million, $400 million out of nowhere because they got a $2.5 billion TV deal. Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. MLS is taking off. What's up, Rico? Asked this on TikTok, but you said to ask in YouTube. What were your thoughts on guys like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, guys that were regarded as developmental guys and dudes that took a couple of years to develop? Did you see them being successful, and what did you think of them before the draft? So, hindsight's 20/20. Everybody thinks they hit on these guys. I'm on record for saying Josh Allen is not him. I still don't think he's any good. I think he's a product of really good quarterback coaches. He used to have them. They're gone now. Ken Dorsey's still there, but he stopped being the quarterback's coach, offense coordinator. But it's Dabo. It's Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey did the same thing for Cam Newton when he became MVP. His quarterback's coach was Ken Dorsey. So it's also going to get an all-pro wide receiver. But I still think Josh Allen is turnover prone. Never really believe in one-year quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is a different story, though. Jalen Hurts is an all-time high-character guy. An all-time high-character guy. Losing your starting position, shutting your mouth, staying on the roster, being a team guy, and then eventually coming off the bench to win it all. to pull your team through after injury, like that was so cool. If you guys don't remember, Jalen Hurts was benched, then came out and did his thing when it mattered most before transferring to Oklahoma, which, by the way, he's not an SEC quarterback because you get called a quarterback from where you got drafted. So he's a Big 12 quarterback. Shout out to him. But, yeah, I'm not a Josh Allen guy till this day, and I never will be. I don't believe in him. I don't think he makes good decisions with the football. I think he is turnover prone, and I think he benefits from having a really good wide receiver. Excuse me. So, yeah, I'm on record for telling you guys, I'm never going to be an advocate for tools and traits guys or anybody who's only been productive for like 1 year. I'm not a big fan of it. I want to see prolonged production and domination of your opponents, and I don't care what your traits are. I really don't care how fast your 40 is. Do you play fast? Are you on the field and dominating? Show me. And that's where I live in that world. So, Christian Braun showed out last night for the Nuggets. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't point that dude out in the crowd. Of course, he's not cleared. If he was healthy, he would have played already. Few days ain't going to change anything. We saw Denver dominance in Miami and said, I ain't going to be part of the sweep. Yeah, it is what it is, Chris. It is what it is. Let's go, Brandon. Shout out to Willie. Hey, Willie's late, bro. Willie's late. Shows up and just yells out slurs. Nuggets have no chance. Heat in 7. Flyboy. Are you trying to get a rise out of people? You sound absurd. You fall asleep to ESPN or YouTube. Never fall asleep to ESPN. Don't give them ratings. Lakers couldn't succeed with both stat patters, Westbrook and LeBron. At some point, team basketball is required. It's pretty deep, bro. That's deep. Those stat patters on the Jazz. Couldn't stand them. Karl Malone and John Stockton, stat patters. How do you think Colorado will match up against Nebraska's new 3-3-5 defense? Do you think Big Ten teams will have problems beating it? They are pretty excited about it in Nebraska. Well, we're going to have to see it. I think Colorado matches up well against this new 3-3-5 defense. And we'll have to see if they beat anybody with it. Now, I think Nebraska is going to have a hard time outscoring opponents. They don't score much. They have a new quarterback. They need to believe in Jeff Sims. And they don't have Trey Palmer anymore. Their 1,000-yard receiver's gone. I think they're offensively challenged. We'll see what happens. But I think they're offensively challenged for now. At least for a couple years. But, yeah, that's fine. 3-3-5 defense is not unique. A lot of teams run it. You see it all the time. Unique to say that it's going to win a conference or be relevant. I have Nebraska winning up to 7 games. I don't know if they're going to win that many. I have them up to 7 games. So I hope they live up to their potential. Someone predicted Colorado only having 4 wins this year. Coach, how do you feel about that? Blunts on Paper and Podcast. So I feel like I went out on record, and you guys can find the old videos. I said it back in December and January. I looked at the schedule, and I said Colorado's winning 4 games. Colorado's winning 4, max 6. And I said this over and over and over again. And even though I'm an advocate for the players and I believe in Coach Prime, people came for my head. People were like, yo, pause. People came to me and were like, hey, you're a hater. You hate on Colorado. And I'm like, I'm not a hater. I believe in everything they're doing. But I also believe in all their opponents, right? That's the other thing you got to understand is I follow 133 teams. I give high praise to every transfer portal addition outside of character concerns. So if I believe in them, that's great. But I also believe in all the other teams. Like I just got through telling you guys right now, I'm like, running back room. You want to know great running back rooms? I did a top 10 list of running back rooms, and Oregon State was 6. UCLA was honorable mention. USC was 5. USC and Oregon State were 6 and 7, I think, if I remember correctly. It's like, what are we doing? I have a lot of respect for other running back rooms. Oregon was honorable mention, right? So I just need people to kind of understand that when I look at Colorado, I have a lot of respect for their opponents. I really do. Can't win them all. But when I made those 4 and 6 predictions, those 4 wins up to 6 wins predictions, this was before the spring transfer portal cycle. And I think in the spring transfer portal cycle, I really had more time to digest the roster and the depth. And when I see 15 front 7 signings to their defensive line and linebacker core or whatever, like I'm like, whoa, hold up. This team is good. This team is solidified on their first 22. Their 2 deep is real. What are we talking about? So at that point, I had to kind of dial it back a little bit and go, okay, do I really think Colorado's only winning 6 games? Do I really think they're only winning 6 games? No, I think they have the potential to win 7. Maybe go bowl game, win 7. You can win 8. If you won 7, go to a bowl game, you can win your bowl game. Now we're looking at 8 wins. So I feel really comfortable at 7. I initially said 4. It's on record. It's recorded. So anybody else who's saying 4, I just wonder if they don't value the transfers, if they don't assess the competition. Like I saw that guy who said 4. It was an On3 post. It was a video. It was sent to me. I get tagged in all this shit. And when I saw that, I looked at who he said they were going to beat and who they weren't going to beat, and I'm like, he said it's going to be a hard-fought game against Stanford? They lost everything. They lost 9 starters through the transfer portal, and he said it's going to be a hard-fought game against Stanford. What is he talking about? It's going to be an absolute blowout. A massacre. What is he talking about? And then he said, oh, well, they're going to win this game or lose this game. I got them winning. I got them beating Washington State. I got them beating Arizona State, something like that. And I'm going, now that's going to be a hard-fought win. Arizona State's going to be a shootout. Kenny Dillingham can score points. He's got a hell of a team from the transfer portal. Like, everybody doesn't pay attention to the transfer portal additions, but Washington has 24 transfer portal additions in the last 3 years. From Lake's last season and then the last 2 with DeBoer here, they have 24 additions to their team. We're talking Michael Penix Jr. We're talking real transfer additions, and they were number 8 in the polls last year. They went from being, okay, you're good, we just fired our coach, to a top 10 team in the final poll. You were number 8 in the final poll, and you weren't even in the conference championship game. You're a top 10 team, not in the conference championship game. They were the highest rated team among 6 ranked teams in the Pac-12. All transfer portal driven. People ignore it. USC just went from 4 wins to 12 wins. You ignore it. They did it with the transfer portal. So, yeah, there's a much bigger gap we have to cover here. But those guys who are saying 4 wins, I feel like they're not studying. I feel like they're not aware of what's happening. And they don't care. They just want to make, hey, it's clickbait, bro. It's clickbait. If LeBron's a stat patter, what do you call Jokic? I call him a joker. Joker's a stat patter, and Murray. Murray literally played the last 3 minutes just to get 1 rebound. Flyboy. You guys need to calm down. Nepotism is killing Iowa. It's killing a lot of programs. Nepotism is killing a lot of programs. I think Pete Carroll's son was not very good, or maybe he was. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe he was liked by the players. But there's people's kids everywhere. Dude, I was on Diablo. Willie Bobo got the new Diablo. Uh-oh. Had to stay away from it. Who could be the starting safety at Colorado? A bunch of guys, Mr. K. I'm not calling out starting positions. There's too many months to train. How many times we see LeBron not even make an effort to get back on D? Probably a lot. He's an old man. Thoughts on JMU? James Madison University, if you guys didn't know, they were so good last year, first year in the FBS, they were actually ranked. It's the first time that's ever happened. A team joins college football, joins the FBS, joins Division I FBS level, and they're in the top 25. They didn't get to play for their conference title because of the transition rule. 3 years you don't get to play. It's some garbage. So they didn't get to play against Troy. That's why North Texas got to play against Troy in the conference title game. And they didn't get to go to a bowl game. But they're very good. Now, they lost their quarterback to the NFL. They lost their star defensive end to Ole Miss or Auburn. Can't remember right now. I think it's Ole Miss. They lost their leading rusher. No, they didn't. Old Dominion did. Who else did they lose? JMU lost some players. But, dude, they got a ton of players nobody's talking about. If you go look at their transfer portal class, let me pull it up. These websites don't even know who they got. You go to JMU, James Madison. They play in the Sun Belt, by the way. And you go to transfers coming in. Oh, they're trying to fix it. Look, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. They got them with 8. Okay? Not counting Kai Wright. No, maybe I'm not counting these top 3. They still got him with 8, right? Let me go pull something up real quick. They got him with 8 players. When I pull up my rankings, and I go to my transfer portal rankings, and I go look up James Madison, I got him with 12 guys. I got him with 12. Who are they missing? And here's what I wrote in my notes. I wrote 6 to 12 people they're missing. Phoenix Sproles coming over from North Dakota State, Lawton and McLeod. And if you look, is there any Lawton and McLeod named here? There's no Lawton or McLeod here. They're missing players that are transferring to JMU. These websites don't even know. The school knows, but these websites, you go to them and you're like, oh, look who we got in the transfer portal. These websites suck. I know the truth. I've done the research. I really like JMU's transfer portal class. So in the winter, I had them ranked 30th. 30th. When they had 6, I had them at 30th. They're looking like I have them top 10. Now, there's going to be adjustments made. But the point is they only lost 0 starters to the transfer portal. And then they went and lost their defensive end. Okay. Woku. Okuwu. Do the name. Bruh, do the name. I can't do the name. You guys know what I'm saying. Okuwu. I like JMU, man. I hope they're on their way up. They got Mullen coming over from Indiana. It's a good young kid. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Does Joker play D? I couldn't tell you, bro. LeBron has carried his teammates to finals and got them bums paid. Fair. True statement. Shouldn't. Why do you think all players want to play like, okay, got it. You guys are arguing amongst each other. I don't need to read this out loud. MPJ is Michael Porter Jr. Oh, my bad. Who's that? No, I know who he is, but whatever. What's your projected Colorado record? Yeah, I'm already on that. I've done that a million times. Go watch the videos. Go find the content. This is going to be on the Rico Wrong playlist. There's nothing wrong about what I'm saying. Where are you ranking Colorado's wide receivers, DBs, in the conference? Well, number 1, wide receivers, number 1 is Washington. Number 2, USC. Number 3, Arizona. Number 4, probably Oregon. So they're right around there. Oh, wait, UCLA's got good receivers. They got Michael J. Sturdivant, and they got Ford. They're fighting 5 or 6 at wide receiver. DBs, Oregon, USC. They're fighting 4th or 5th. They're just kind of in the middle of the conference for all this stuff. You guys, there's really high upper echelon guys. Like when you think they got a good wide receiver room, and you do, and you think they got a good wide receiver room, the wide receivers that left USC this offseason because they couldn't start, Ford, former 5-star guy, went to UCLA. Gary Bryant Jr. went to Oregon, former 4-star. C.J. Williams, former 4-star, went to Wisconsin, and he's killing it. So, like, the guys they're losing at USC are better than the guys on Colorado's team. Like, that's what you guys got. There's just levels to this shit. The guys they lost are better than anybody you got on your roster. It's the truth. It's just going to take years to build up to that upper echelon of elite recruit and elite transfer. It's going to take years. You know, you got good receivers coming in, but then you got USC got Dorian Singer, like the 11th leading receiver in the country. You got good guys with good potential. Then they get a guy who actually has yards and production that's top 10, top 15 in the country. It's a little different, right? When you start looking at Trev, who's the kid who came over from Troy? When you go look at Oregon real quick. Bo Nix's brother. Transfers coming in. Gary Bryant Jr., like I said. Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson, this is a complete animal when it comes to stats. What he did at Troy last year. Trayshawn Holden, 6 touchdowns at Bama last year. 6 touchdowns at Bama. Like, these are not, yeah, they're potential guys, but these are not to be played with. These are actual stud players at these other schools. So they're getting good players, they're getting stud players, and they're comparable to them. So that's how that goes. Thank you for the insight on the Pac-12. Shout out to you. Does Vandergrift transfer? Not right now. Nope. He likes where he's at. USC best running back room, easy. I believe so. Raleek Brown, I believe so. Jones, what's his face from South Carolina? I mean, he led the team in rushing. Right? He led them in rushing. Marshawn Lloyd. What am I doing? How do I draw a blank there? Like, the transfers USC got are literally Christian Roland Wallace started 30 games at Arizona. This is not a scrub. This is the top 15 wide receiver in the country. Mason Cobb is an all-conference linebacker. It's not potentially a good player. He's Big 12, second team, leading Oklahoma State in tackles. Marshawn Lloyd, the leading rusher at South Carolina in the SEC. These are all potential dudes, stud offensive linemen, more potential. These are the type of recruits, Colorado's getting. Potential guys. I get it. But some of these dudes down here, that's not potential, man. That's straight up production. These are NFL football players. These are draft picks. It's different. It's just different. How Colorado got the best running back room when Alton is coming off a season with injury. Y'all don't even know Alton is going to be the same as he was. This is true, little KT. Now, I have firm belief that most running backs, and most people recover from a torn ACL, they're the same guy. Now, torn meniscus, your torn knee, that becomes problematic. But is he injury prone or not? I don't know. But as of right now, I like Alton McCaskill. I like him a lot. I talked to the young man several times on TikTok in DMs. I'm very supportive of him, the program, and everything. It's cool. He's not Marshawn Lloyd. He's just not. He's not Raleek Brown. Like those dudes. Raleek Brown, when I tell you he's the next Reggie Bush, Raleek Brown tore it up at Modern Day his whole high school career. Like, this guy's real. Man, go watch some tape. Raleek Brown is, and he was committed to Oklahoma, and then he flipped with Lincoln Riley. You guys don't know. Thoughts on Penn State? I think they will at least be the second best team in the Big Ten. At least be the second best. See, so saying at least means you don't think they're going to be third. You think they're going to be first or second. That sounds absurd. I think they're going to be at least the fourth best team in the Big Ten. You see what I did there? At the very least, they'll be the fourth best team. So that means if they make top three, they're good. Make top two, they're good. But if they lose to Michigan and Ohio State, then what you just said is wrong. I like to not be wrong when I say things. Did you see Travis J, Alton, Savion are all cleared and participating in training? Yes, I did. Donovan, Boston College, and first rounder. Okay. I can't say names, but I hear you. My quest is, your question is, have I seen Chance Main and Brennan Gant for Colorado? I know who they are. I've seen them play. Don't know what's your question. You just asked if I've seen them? Yeah, yes, I've seen them. Messi coming to MLS is going to bring a whole new level of attention to the league. The percentage he gets from Inter Miami or a team he starts is going to be worth a lot more than $1.2 million in 10 years. Yeah, I believe so. Now, the percentage won't be. If he gets 35% of Inter Miami, and I just don't see it being more than $1.2 billion, that would mean that he's going to get 35%. That would mean the team would have to be worth somewhere north of $5 billion. I just don't see that in the next 10 years. $5 billion is the Patriots. I don't see that. But I hear you. The investment is smart. I just don't see what you're saying in that regard, okay? I don't mean to downplay what you guys are doing. Hey, we're over 100 viewers. We got more people in here than the NBA Finals does in ratings, just so you guys know. Little Cat, they still have Cavassier Smoke, Savion Wilkerson, Hankerson, and Dylan Edwards. Yep, they're all very good. I want to make it very clear. Those are all very good players. They're very comparable to any other running back recruits in the conference. They're up to speed. They're up to par. None of those guys can go to any other school in the conference and start over their starters. So those are all very good depth players. Now you guys are getting in the habit of just identifying the entire roster or the entire depth chart. And that doesn't justify anything. That's just telling me everybody who's on the roster. I know everyone who's on the roster. Got it. That doesn't mean shit. Like, it really doesn't. People do this all the time with me. Rico, have you seen our running back room at Georgia? We got so, and they start listing every guy in the room. And I'm like, yeah, I know every motherfucker in the room. But the best player you had just went into the NFL draft and got drafted 7th. He was in the 7th round. That means every single guy behind him is not a professional because the best guy in the room was a 7th rounder. Maybe they'll get drafted someday. Maybe they'll develop into being draft picks. So right now, all those guys you just listed, how many of them are draft picks? Because the running backs on these other teams are draft picks, right? Jackson at Utah is a draft pick. So are they going to develop to be draft picks? Hopefully. Are they draft picks today? No. And this is why I don't mention them when I discuss top running back rooms in the country or the conference. Yes, the running back room's deep, and I'm excited for them. The only issue with MLS is they need to make their academies free like teams in Europe do. Otherwise, MLS will continue to only get retired stars rather than young, great players like Pulisic. So, 1 second. I don't want my dog to eat my pen. Sounds good, brother. Dylan Edwards is a freshman. Y'all don't know how good he'll be at the college level. He looks explosive. Like a lot of other freshmen, they look good in practice. Let them play. Let them develop. Let them lift weights. See what injuries do. There's a lot of stuff going on in life. Is Kermani McLean at Colorado? Haven't seen him. I don't think he's there yet. I think he had to graduate high school first. He said he would be there June. I think he wrote the 9th, which is tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. He goes on the 11th. Okay, yeah. I said the 9th, tomorrow, Friday. 11th, that's Sunday. Show up next week. If Rico doesn't know, Morantz will Google Division 4 is dark and legit. Diablo 4 is dark and legit. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Shout out to Morantz Rants. He has a channel. It's going to be going away soon. He does, and he talks about GameStop, and they fired their CEO, and the stock plummeted because they're Blockbuster. We've been over this. Shout out to them. Rico knows soccer. Rico does know relegation, though. This is true. I do know relegation. Lil KT, thanks you. Do you think Mizzou will be any good this year? I talked about it yesterday. I don't think Missouri, we'll pull up their schedule, I don't think they're going to be overly good. I think last year they were pretty good. But the problem with Missouri is they hired a new offensive coordinator in Kirby Moore, Kellen Moore's little brother, so former wide receiver at Boise State. And the problem is you got Brady Cook here, and you're not going to let him cook. You're going to put Jake Garcia in over him because Jake Garcia is coming in from Miami, and everybody goes, hey. And if you're a backup quarterback anywhere in the world, you can transfer to the SEC and be a starter. Shout out to all those quarterbacks who have done it before. And this is about to happen, right? Jake Garcia is going to do it. But when I look at this team, their second leading rusher was Brady Cook. Their leading rusher, here we go. They lost their leading receiver. Talk about Luther Burden not living up to the hype. I told somebody this yesterday. Somebody, he's the most underrated wide receiver. No, he's not. He's the most overrated wide receiver. I'm looking at a guy with 45 receptions, 375 yards. That's less than 10 yards of reception, guys. This is supposed to be a 5-star wide receiver. 5 stars. So explosive. Luther Burden here. 5'11", 215. This man is nothing. Nothing to write home about. I don't get it. So there's Luther Burden. Yeah, so Missouri's got their hands full. I'm going to pull up their schedule, and let's see what they got for next year. They were 4th in the East. But look, they're going to beat South Dakota. They only play 8 conference games. Shout out to them. They're going to beat South Dakota. They're going to beat Middle Tennessee. Losing. Win. So they're going to be 4-1. 4-2. 4-3. 4-4. 4-5. 4-6. 4-7. 4-8. So they're going to be 4-1 at one point. They'll be ranked. And that'll really help out. Maybe they'll still be ranked against LSU. So LSU can say they beat a ranked team. So LSU, watch this. Missouri will be ranked at 4-1, and they're going to give LSU credit for beating a ranked team. Watch. It's going to be gross. It's going to be gross. And then they're going to lecture me all in the bowl series. Oh, my God, we LSU, yeah, they're really good. Look at their strength of schedule. They beat 5 ranked teams. Now, who is it? Well, one of them's Missouri. Well, they were ranked when they played them. Trust me. But, yeah, Missouri's going to go on an epic losing streak to end the season. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 losses in a row. Bank it. 7 losses in a row for Missouri to end the season. Get at me. The H family, will he adjust to the altitude? Savion will challenge that entire running back room. Okay. Will you ever talk about your political views or no? AP, no, under no circumstances. Wayne Morgan agreed. It's going to be a battle for sure. I don't think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a rotation, guys. Rico, you think if Michael Penix Jr. can stay healthy, he can be a top 10 pick? Seems like a guy that has all the tools to put it together. First and foremost, Chaos, I don't know who's drafting in the top 10 next year. If there could be 10 teams up there that don't need quarterbacks, there's no point in saying this. Number two, I don't know if he's going to stay healthy or not. So I'm not going to make these predictions at all. At all. I don't live in that hypothetical world. Thoughts on Georgia Tech? Love the school, love the program, love what they're doing. They hired the right man for the job. They have a great offensive coordinator, great quarterbacks coach. Shout out to Chris Winkie. And they're killing in the transfer portal. I love what they're doing recruiting-wise. I like the trajectory of Georgia Tech. Problem, ACC looks very strong. ACC looks healthy. A lot of the teams have good, healthy programs. And I'm talking about Duke. I'm talking about Clemson, Florida State, right? It just looks like an uphill battle. Miami's building and growing. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, they're all in the same boat. They're all in the same boat, and that boat don't got enough space for all three of them. JMU fans invaded our town a bunch of years in a row when they were in the playoffs. There you go. There you go. Rico, you called it. Savion is in Colorado. Hey, what else is new? What else is new? Thoughts on Ben Finiseth? Well, I made a video about him today, and I hope you watched it. I made a video about Ben. Talked about him. This is a walk-on at Colorado. He, in high school, he's a really accomplished wide receiver, had over 1,000 yards receiving. He played defense as well. They won a state title his senior year. It was the shortened COVID year. And then he and his quarterback, they walked on to Colorado. Then they both got converted to DBs in the offseason after their first season because they weren't going to see the field any other way. So Carl Durrell says, hey, guys, go to defense. They keep lifting weights. They go to defense. They start playing defensive back, and he's just a really good practice guy. And more importantly, he's a good locker room dude and highly educated, highly academic. This is the kind of guy you want around your program. Shout out to Ben Finiseth and what he does. I made a video about him, though, and I tagged him in the video. So if you guys want to follow him on TikTok, go to the video, look in the tags. He's down there. He doesn't have a lot of followers. Let's get him some. Do you think Jordan Travis translates to the NFL at all? I don't know who translates to the NFL, Colin. This is why I don't even know. I don't know. He's a hell of a quarterback. I hope he does well. But I don't know who translates to the NFL. They make up their own rules. They like the kid down in Miami. They like Tyler Van Dyke. I watch Tyler Van Dyke and I throw up in my mouth. They like Tyler Van Dyke. Who the hell likes Dyke? What are we doing? Luke from Bama. He's going to earn a scholarship. He keep working out like he has in recent videos. That kid's got it. Yeah, I would hope so. I think there's a lot of kids trying to earn scholarships. Is there any chance that AR-15 has a similar trajectory to Josh Allen? AP, that is the whole selling pitch. That is the whole point. That is what they're all banking on. So is there any chance? Yes, there's a chance. That's what everybody's banking on. If he doesn't, he's a bust. If he doesn't, the GM gets fired. All right? Let's fire him right now. What school did best in Mountain West, portal-wise? Mountain West Conference, MWC, by the way. Mountain West Conference in the portal. So for me, I can show you my rankings. The team that did the best from the Mountain West. Let's go find it. Nevada. Best in the Mountain West was Nevada, and that was in the winter. But I highly doubt they got past because they didn't lose a lot of starters in the transfer portal. I like Nevada's transfer portal class. They did the best in improving their team with the transfer portal. Shout out to them. They did really good. Does Jerkovic start at Pitt? If he doesn't, oh my goodness, who the hell beat him out? He's not very good, but more power to him. I also don't blame him. Boston College's offensive coordinator was trash. Their team called terrible. I mean, just the worst scheme ever. Even with Zay Flowers, everything looked terrible. And I watched a lot of Boston College tape. But there's a reason they only won 3 games. And it's crazy. So, yeah. Talk to these people, Rico. Raleek Brown is the truth. Yeah, Raleek Brown is better than 90% of the starting running backs in this country. Raleek Brown is better than 90% of the starting running backs in this country. He could start at Colorado right now. No problem. He can start at a lot of schools. Raleek Brown is very, very good. Very good. Travis Dye transferred in. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. You know, sometimes guys show up and they're great. But Raleek Brown is the truth, bro. Just trust me on this. How long you think Virginia Tech becomes relevant again? Whew, Zach. They need to find a quarterback. Any years that Virginia Tech was relevant, they had a good quarterback. They need to find a real quarterback, a good one. So sometimes they just got to transfer Drones from Baylor. He's not good. Kyron Drones is not a good quarterback. He as bad as Shapen was at Baylor, the one thing they never did was put Drones in the game. Like, Baylor's struggling at quarterback, and they never went, oh, my God, maybe we should give Drones a chance. No, they seen that dude at practice. And they're like, we're not putting him in. We'll just keep shitting and sucking right here. So I think – and then Baylor went out and signed 3 quarterbacks in the transfer portal, right? They went and signed R.J. Martinez. They signed Robertson from Mississippi State. Like, they just went out and got all the help they can get because they know they need help at quarterback. But one guy that wasn't the help was Drones. Virginia Tech just had 2 quarterbacks transfer out. One of them went to Rhode Island. He's a kid I watched in high school, so shout out to him. Hope he does well. And the other one went to another FCS school. So they weren't even FBS caliber players on the roster. That's what they realized. They're not even FBS level guys. They gotta figure something out. So it'll be a while before Virginia Tech becomes relevant, quote unquote relevant. They're still there. They're still playing football. They did get an amazing running back in the transfer portal, right? Byshal Tuten, FCS All-American running back, North Carolina A&T. This is a 1,300-yard rusher. I love that they have a running back that matters, but anytime Virginia Tech was relevant, they had a good quarterback. And they don't have that right now, so it is what it is. Nick Saban, done by 2026 if he don't cash in on a title, UGA loading powerhouse. Well, yeah, and I don't think Georgia's going to win all the national titles either, so let's just slow down there. I think there's just going to be competing issues and concerns across the formation. Like, I actually think Texas and Oklahoma are going to become perennial powers. You join the SEC with the financial backing that they have and just the influence that they have in their areas. I believe now once you consider Texas and Oklahoma your SEC schools, they're going to get a certain caliber of recruit now, and that's going to take over. So that's number 1 and 2 there. Texas and Oklahoma are going to have a say as to who wins the SEC for the next 5 years. I really believe that. At the same time, I think USC, Michigan, and Ohio State get a huge boost from UCLA and USC joining the Big Ten, and their recruiting looks similar as well. So you're going to run into teams fighting for national titles, and it's not just going to be Georgia or Bama. If Bama's run their course, that's fine, but Clemson is recruiting the shit out of Georgia, the state of Georgia, better than Georgia. Clemson's recruiting the state of Georgia better than Georgia University because Georgia UGA is going across the country. They struck gold with Brock Bowers. They're trying to do it again. They're going to California and getting everybody. They got Roderick Robinson, a running back from San Diego, because they felt like, oh, we got to go get this running back from San Diego because we can go anywhere. Let's go anywhere and go get a guy. So who did you miss out on? Well, Justice Haynes is right down the street from you, right? Justice Haynes at Blessed Trinity transfers to Buford, and now he's at Bama. So Bama just took a guy from you. Oh, well, we missed him. We went and got somebody else from another state. It's just, and they're missing they're missing on skill position players. They're missing on wide receivers and running backs and quarterbacks. That's what they're missing on. A lot of their guys aren't getting drafted, or a lot of their guys aren't NFL draft caliber players. You get a 5-star quarterback, he should be your starting quarterback by the end of his freshman year. The end of his redshirt year, he should be there. He should be ready to go. Redshirt freshman, ready to start. Shout out to all the 5-star quarterbacks who have been ready by their redshirt freshman year. And then you got a guy like Brock Vandegrift, it's not ready. So you missed. It's a miss on recruiting at that point. When you recruit a 5-star quarterback, you intentionally don't sign one for the next 2 years because you expect him to start for 3 years, and it's just not happening. They have to keep recruiting guys, and then they're missing on guys within their own state. How are they going to feel when Dylan Lonergan's actually starting for Alabama? How are they going to feel? He came from Georgia. They're missing. They didn't get Caleb Downs. He's starting every single play. Starting every play for Georgia this year. I'm sorry, for Bama this year. This is a guy from Georgia. They're just missing left and right. But we'll see what happens. You ever smoke weed, Rico? Joey Martin, I have never, ever smoked or vaped anything in my life. I've never done a drug in my life. I love my body. I don't mess with anything illegal. Even if it was legal, even if it is legal, I have zero interest in doing that. I actually think it lowers your earning potential, right? I don't care if it's healthy, natural, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about none of that shit. I think it hinders you from earning more money. I think it hinders you from having certain jobs and professions in this world. That's what I think. I think there's certain employers that frown upon it. Therefore, I would never do it because I don't want to hinder my earning potential. And I've been in the Army for 20 years. We do drug testing often. I'm not jeopardizing my life. Why don't you just be a professional scout for an NFL team? You're good at this stuff. Flakes, I think I make more money doing this like this. I know that the life of a scout is trash. I know it's hard. You answer to somebody, and you're always on the road. I just make social media. I just make content. I'm a content creator. I do this. I'm a sports journalist from home, and it bothers me none, and my life is stress-free. I wake up when I want to wake up. I go to bed when I want to go to bed. I create my own content, and you guys are here rocking with me. This is what I do for a living. I don't want to be a scout. No thanks. Having dinner at the casino. What up, Willie Bobo? Shout out to you, man. I asked about Brendan Grant because he plays a joker position that Coach Kelly loves and believes Chance Main will continue to be a key contributor on the defensive line. Have you seen them participate? I have not seen them participate in Charles Kelly's defense. Not so far. No. What are my thoughts? So I have not seen them. My thoughts are they're rotational players, and I hope they do well. I like Gant a lot. But every player on defense is a rotational player. Every player on defense is a rotational player. Let me say that again. Look at I'm right here. I didn't even go look up a team. I just grabbed Missouri, just for the hell of it. How many players on Missouri got tackles last season? Look at this. How many linebackers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 linebackers. How many DBs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get what I'm saying? 11 different guys made tackles as defensive backs. You just rotate so many guys in. The 2 deep is important, but you're rotating everybody in. So shout out to them. Get what I'm saying? It is what it is. What do you think is the worst sport? Baseball, bruh. I hate baseball. And I don't know a thing about cricket, but I hate baseball with a passion. I want to give the show a shout out. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do you think Florida State and USC is going to be good as everybody has them going? I think they have the potential to be great. I don't know how good they're going to be. They have loaded schedules. They each have very difficult schedules. So if they can get through it, they're going to be the cream of the crop. I think they're poised to do it. They have senior quarterbacks. They have great skill position players. They have great coaches. I think they're as good as everybody says they are. I think they're very good, both of those programs. You should do your projecting rankings for this upcoming season. Little KT, I have zero desire to try to rank all the teams this upcoming season. I really do. I talk transfer portal, and I hate the whole guessing at preseason rankings. I just don't like it. It's not my thing, brother. Did Arch Manning make a mistake by not committing to Alabama? No. No. You guys are wrong. When you commit to a school, you know what you want? You want stability. You want an offensive coordinator and stability. Bama got a new offensive coordinator this season. Bama's going through new coordinators every year. They just keep getting hired and moved, and then Saban's got to hire somebody else. No, man, go rock with Sark. Go be a starting quarterback. Back up a professional, and then you'll be the starter. Back up a professional. That is the standard SEC playbook. Missouri's still waiting for a natty in anything. True. This stuff is second nature to you. Thank you. Thoughts on Christian Leary? Good wide receiver, man. I really like Christian Leary. I'm glad he flipped from UCF to Georgia Tech. I like Christian Leary. He's a cool dude. Opinion on McCord. I asked about him. People asked about him last night. He's got a lot of weapons. He's got the best team on the field 90% of the time. Hope he wins with them. Do you think the Seahawks will draft a quarterback next year? I'm not a fortune teller. No clue. I don't know what their deal is. Why would they need a quarterback next year? What if Geno Smith is playing amazing? What if they don't have any draft picks? I mean, there's a whole bunch of shit. I don't know what we're doing here. What are your thoughts on Drew Lock as a prospect? What was your thoughts on Drew Lock as a prospect? Not very big on Power 5 guys who are one-year production dudes. I wasn't very big on Drew Lock. You miss Vimalpia? Okay. Thoughts on Tulane making the playoffs if they go undefeated? Well, if they go undefeated, they make the playoffs. Because I don't see a lot of teams going undefeated. Prediction on next Group of 5 team to become a Power 5 team. Well, that's a done deal. It's already San Diego State and SMU. So San Diego State, SMU. Those top executives snort all kinds of white lines. Yep. What's up, Rico? Blessings, brother. Hey, shout out to you, Jared. Good to see you again, brother. What's your thoughts on Texas quarterback problems with Murphy and Manning and the new commit? I don't know of any quarterback problems. They have quarterback depth. They have good players. There's no problem there. That's not a problem. Do you think Geno will fall off? And what think of the Seahawks record will be? I don't have a clue what the Seahawks record will be. I don't even look at NFL games. I don't even care. $2. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the tip. Everything counts. How good can North Carolina be? They can be as good as they want to be, but they're not going to be. I think they're going to have a down year. I think North Carolina is going to struggle. Lost your offensive coordinator, lost your 2 leading receivers, lost your entire secondary, lost your secondary coach. They lost a ton, bro. I'm not on that bandwagon. Thank you for hitting the like button. Yep, thank you very much. What do you think of Anthony Richardson with the Colts? I don't. Cortez Coleman, I don't. I'm not a big fan of that. Anyways, let's go back to the what's trending here. I'll get back to the chat. We caught up. You guys can keep throwing your questions, and I'll get to it. Hey, what is gooch grease? What the hell is gooch grease, bro? I don't have this problem. It says gooch grease is a problem according to some men. Maxi pads are the answers. Number 1, if you're wearing maxi pads, just go ahead and get on down, bro. Go ahead and get on down. R. Kelly made a song about you. He said, let's keep it on the down low. He wasn't talking about keeping a secret that nobody has to know with a girl down the street. Look at this man right here. This is a man's pants. This is it. Well, first and foremost, this is, I believe, to be an African-American male. Shout out to the down low. But what are we doing here, bruh? What are we doing here? Who took the picture? Gooch Grease. And they're wearing, it says, with nearly 250,000 likes and over 2,000 comments. Women are in constant state of leaking their blood or discharge. Men found a way to be grosser, bro. Is grosser a word? We are more gross. Gooch Grease. I can't help you guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how that made the sports feed. All right, Live Golf. I want to talk to you guys about this. I talked about it yesterday, right? These damn dudes, they went out and bought out the PGA Tour. You know what they're trying to do? I got an idea. They're trying to make it like F1. If you guys aren't familiar with F1, F1 is a bunch of high-end sponsors who purchase teams, and then they go and get the 20 best drivers in the world who join each team, and they go and do fancy races in fancy places all over the world. And it's the most high-end competition, money-driven competition in the world. I mean, it is for the elite of the elite. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a documentary on Netflix about F1, and I kid you not, you watch one episode, you will want to learn more about F1. I've never watched an F1 race. I want to put that out there right now. I've never watched an F1 race. I've watched this entire series. I've watched the entire series on this thing about F1. And I'm telling you, it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. And for me, I think they're doing this with golf. I think they're going to start getting teams and sponsors. And they're going to make golf teams. And your team is going to be versus another team. And it's going to be TaylorMade versus Nike versus Adidas versus Titleist. And it's going to be this thing where they show up anywhere in the world and they play a golf tournament on some fancy golf courses all around the world. That's why I think Live Golf and PGA combined. I promise you. It's probably 5 and 10 years away. And I know the PGA Tour is like, no, we're still going to have our PGA Tour. I know. But you're going to become the F1. You're going to become the F1 of golf. You watch. Teams are going to get sponsored. And then golfers are going to join those teams and go play in fancy tournaments against other people. That's what they're going to do. It's lame. Nobody's asking for it, but the money's there, and sponsors will pay an insane amount. And then next thing you know, 10 years later, it's all we're going to know. Oklahoma baseball, Oklahoma softball. If you didn't know, Oklahoma softball, they're playing tonight. If they win, they're going to win their three-peat. They're playing Florida State. If you didn't know, they've got a 59-game win streak. 59-game win streak. What's the mercy rule in softball? I don't know what the mercy rule is, but I think they've won something like 20-something games this year with the mercy rule. I got to find it. It's somewhere in this story. 28 games via the mercy rule. They don't expect there to be a blowout tonight. This team is outrageous. You know, they stopped playing softball in the Olympics because no one else in the world plays softball but America. And we were winning every game by mercy rule. And we won every gold medal that ever existed. Jenny Finch was our pitcher. You guys remember Jenny Finch? Beautiful girl, big forehead. Jenny Finch was the pitcher. We won so many gold medals, they just took it out of the Olympics. They just said, hey, we got to go. We can't do it anymore. And so shout out to them. But Oklahoma, they're not losing at all. They're not losing at all. It's insane. They have the best pitchers. They got home run hitters. They got girls coming out. These girls look like linebackers, bro. These girls look like Ray Lewis in his prime. And they just go and smack that ball. Something out of this world. I promise you. Speaking of women's sports, Harvard women's coach, Katie Stone. She was accused of abusive behavior. This was back in January. They came out and did this whole thing. They did this. These players on her team said she's too militant, too mean. She's too old school. She's been coaching for 27 years. 27 seasons. She's in her mid-50s. 27 seasons she's been coaching, and now they accused her of hazing. Now they accused her of mistreatment. These kids are soft, bro. It's hockey, bro. It's hockey. You can fight on the ice, and you're complaining about your coach? You can fight on the ice, and your coach is too hard on you? Now, they did an investigation. She's not hazing anyone. She wasn't doing anything overly wrong. It's Harvard. It's Harvard. You bookworms. You nerds. It's Harvard. She's won over 500 hockey games. She's the most by a mile. She's the winningest coach in the history of women's hockey, and they forced her to retire. She had to resign. She had to retire. What a shame. What a shame. Those kids are temporarily under her leadership, and they ruin a tenure like that. We don't even get coaches like that anymore. We don't get 27 years at one school. That doesn't happen in this day and age. But your soft ass couldn't handle her coaching style. There's a transfer portal. Go hit it, bruh. Go get the hell out of here. Transfer to Yale. Go somewhere where they wear purple, bro. Transfer to Northwestern. Outrageous. If you guys didn't hear, Bishop Sycamore, the greatest football team of all time, they got a documentary set to release. If you guys don't remember, I've made a video about this. Bishop Sycamore from Ohio made up a school, said they had an address, and started scheduling teams and said they got a team of ballers. They had all these blue chip players. And they scheduled a game and another game and another game. They did this for a couple years, actually. 2 or 3 years. And then one night, they got on the football showcase and they scheduled IMG, a real all-star team, right? They scheduled IMG and they didn't have a roster to give the ESPN TV crew. They ended up on ESPN. It was a Sunday night. And ESPN says, we don't have a roster for this other team, Bishop Sycamore, but we know they got 13 Division I players. We know they got a ton of prospects. And as the game went on, it was the second half. The score was 35-0. And they already knew. Or no, it was the second quarter, I'm sorry. And they already knew. They were like, they came out on the team, and I'll never forget it. He said, we could not verify many of their claims. We couldn't verify who these players are, but it's clearly evident they don't belong on this field. They were going to get hurt. They weren't any good. And I made a video about this because it turns out they played a game Friday night. They had actually played a game Friday, and then 2 days later, they played another game on ESPN. But Friday night, they played a different high school team. I think their name was ROX, R-O-X, out of Pennsylvania, out of the West Pennsylvania area. The game's on YouTube. It's 3 hours long. I watched the whole thing. And in one point in the game, they're swapping helmets, bro. They're swapping helmets. It's the most incredible thing you've ever seen. They don't even have – they're wearing black on black. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's must-see TV. Like, it's ridiculous. It's Bishop Sycamore. Watch this. Bishop Sycamore versus Stowe Rocks. There it is. Stowe Rocks. That's the name of the team. And if you try to find the whole game, that's a 20-minute game right here. This is the whole thing, 3 hours long. And I used to have all these time markers written out so I could show you all the worst stuff that happened in this game. This is an incredibly terrible game. I mean, it is the worst. And Bishop Sycamore, this is them right here with the ball. They can't do anything. They can't complete passes. They can't play football. It's gross. But I knew something was up when I was watching it. And as they walked off the field, I mean, look at this. In the third quarter, I think they're going to punt right here. They're calling plays at the line of scrimmage. But in the third quarter, if I can find the game clock, there it is. With 1 second left, in the third quarter, look at the clock right here. They call a timeout. Who knows why? I'll never know. And then this coach comes out on the field. One of them comes out wearing like a Louis backpack. One of them's got his cell phone out the whole time. This shit is crazy, dude. Like, I've never seen this. There he is, the guy with the backpack just showing up. He's showing up right here, right above my head. Just showed up with a backpack, brought it on the field. I don't know coaches like this. I don't know what's going on. They lose this game to Stowe Rocks. Why were they playing IMG? This game comes down to when it's 4th and 5. This is crazy. I got to find it right here. This is the game on the line. 1st and 10, and he just fumbles the snap, and the other team recovers it, and the game's over. That's how they lost the game. They were on offense. They didn't know he was going to snap the ball. They lost Friday night before they played IMG. It's crazy, bro. In this game, they tried a 55-yard field goal. They were just doing crazy things. But who's playing the game black on black? You can't even tell who your teammate is. Some of the worst football I've ever seen in this game. Shout out to Bishop Sycamore. And I can remember the first time they were getting off the field, and the kid's running off the field, and he's got to give his buddy right here. Oh, it's right there. It's hilarious. Look at this play real quick. Look at is it 9? Check out number 9. Take off his helmet. He's on the sideline. And I think he's got to get, there's one. There's 14 and 15 right there at the bottom of the screen. You guys saw that? Oh, it's beautiful. These kids had to share helmets. Bruh, I ain't sharing helmets with nobody. You got one set of jerseys. You don't even have away jerseys. We just got black jerseys, bruh. We just got black jerseys, coach. That's all we wear. And that was his punt. Check out this dude. He's the quarterback and the punter from the shotgun. Just launching it, dude. Just show us your arm. They don't complete a pass all game. I don't know what's going on. One of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life. Bishop Sycamore. Hey, they got a documentary coming out. When they lost 58-0 to IMG. You got to see it. Turns out they weren't a real high school. Oh, I should have got to the good part. They aren't a real high school. Okay? They're not a real high school. They had kids 2 years after high school. They had kids who dropped out of junior college. They had all kinds of shit, but they weren't real. They were an online school. It's a tragedy, bro. It's a tragedy. It is what it is. I'm not mad at them. They had dudes with kids. They had dudes with kids, and they paid rent. All right, next thing I want to talk about. They just came out with it. Big Ten officially goes divisionless. Big Ten no longer has divisions. I'm sorry. That shouldn't have happened. Give me a second. They no longer have divisions. Okay, cool. But they have this thing called Flex Protect Plus model. So let me try to explain it as best I can. When you're looking at this chart here, and I'm going to scroll in so it gets a little bigger. There we go. When you're looking at this chart, if you see a team in white, that is going to be a permanent opponent for that team. So if you see USC down here, their permanent opponent is UCLA. Now, the two other teams are going to rotate after you play them for 2 years. You're going to do a home and home. Those two teams will rotate to the next team. And then you'll get a different rotation in. A different 2 and 2 will come in. And you'll do this 2-year rotation with all the teams. And they're going to do this for the foreseeable future. But what you should notice is Iowa has 3 permanent opponents. Minnesota, Nebraska, and Wisconsin. So they did this to ensure rivalries stay consistent. Every single year they want rivalries. But outside of the rivalries, they're going to be rotating all your other division opponents. Now, outside of that, you're going to have a bunch of other games. They're still going to play 9 conference games. Shout out to the SEC who only plays 8. But they're still going to play each other. But they just wanted to make sure there was a rivalry of some sort with certain teams. So they're still going to play each other. But here's the chart. I might make a video on this, but I just wanted you guys to be aware there'll be no divisions. All right. Before I hit the transfer portal, I'm going to go back to chat. Let's see what's up. Do you think FAU can have a good year? Terry Rozier, yeah, I do. Yeah, I believe in a lot of things they're doing. I like it. I think FAU can have a good year. I do. I don't know what their schedule looks like. I haven't looked at it, but sure. What do you think of Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Seahawks? I don't think he's a very good football player. How do you like them apples? I think he's on the Seahawks. He got drafted, and he'll get a lot of opportunities to succeed. They're going to throw him the ball a lot. He'll get a lot of targets. He's a first-round wide receiver. That's what happens. Rico, this is not what we came for. My bad. The gooch. Nebraska just landed another Texas 4-star 2024 commit, joining his brother on the team already. Matt has the Texas connection back. Damn. Yep, I told you guys, Mike. I told everybody. Matt Rule is going to recruit the hell out of Texas, not Florida. He knows he needs to get Texas players to Nebraska. That's the key to success. That's what he's doing. I noticed it immediately once he started hiring Texas high school coaches. So, yep, it's going to be a thing. LMFAO, yep, shout out to you. What the hell did I just see? F1 drivers all have wealthy pops. Shout out to them. Yeah, but they still got to be able to drive. What up? How do you feel about JSN to the Seahawks? Please don't repeat your questions. We'll get to them when we get to them. Don't ever repeat your questions. Mercy rule. Team is up by 8 or more runs after 5 or more equal innings. Okay. Is it televised? I might want to have to watch softball. Yeah, I think the game's on right now. These kids are so soft. Bold take. Colorado goes in and upsets TCU. That's not bold. Welcome to the channel. That's not bold. I've been saying that all off season. What are we doing? That's not bold around here. Shout out to me. Didn't Bishop have a bunch of adults? Yep, with kids and beards and taxes. Both teams have the same colors on. It's my eyes. Exactly. They're not even going to beat Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska's better than TCU. TCU's going to be down this year. I'm calling it. It's called a bold take for a reason. And when did I say they're going to beat Nebraska? I think they're beating Nebraska. I misread it. My bad. 2024 schedule is insane. Look at it. Michigan's? I don't think it's insane. It's in the conference, bro. Insane? Man, DHRN is a Michigan fan, and he says 2024 Michigan is difficult. Go look at it. Michigan football schedule 2024. Let's go look at it. This is what everybody's saying? Because you got to travel to USC? Fresno State is impossible. They got Fresno State, Texas, at USC, UCLA, Minnesota, Maryland. What are we doing? Just because of Texas? That's a win. That's a win. In conference. Win. What are we doing? Just because there's some good teams on your conference, that's what it is. Come on, man. Impossible? What'd you write? You wrote insane? We have different definitions of insane. All good. That means we might get OSU, Michigan, man. The Big Ten chip will be lit. Yep. Most conferences are. Why does Baker Mayfield get so many opportunities? Blunt's on paper, he's a very good quarterback. He threw for over 14,000 yards in college. That's more than any of these guys you want to give opportunities to. He is more accomplished than a lot of people you think are better than him. Another thing, he started 67 games in the NFL. He's thrown over 100 touchdowns. What quarterbacks are you putting over Baker Mayfield that's available? Like, Baker Mayfield is thrown for over 100 touchdowns in the NFL. He is not a bust. He's not some scrub. He's just been on terrible teams with terrible coaches. I can tell you that right now. There's no denying that. He's been on some terrible teams with terrible coaches. But if there was ever a man that took the Browns to the playoffs, it was Baker Mayfield. Y'all got it twisted, man. He gets opportunities because he can play football. You were right. Wilkerson and McCaskill are on the new well-off video. Shout out to me. Colorado upset TCU game 1. We're all on that bandwagon. Were you high on JSN or nah? Go watch my content. Did you hold any weight in what Chris Olave G-Dub said about him being the best player out of the 3? No, none whatsoever, AP. I don't believe friends. I don't believe friends. I tell my son he's better than me every day. I don't mean it. I hope he believes it, but I don't mean it. Right? Everybody's vouching for somebody. Hey, man, I know this guy. You should really look into him, man. Give him a job, hook him up. Everybody's vouching for somebody. I never said it was impossible. What'd you say? Insane. You said insane. I apologize. Don't have me misquote you. Bishop Sycamore football team reminds me of that movie, Accepted. Yeah, terrible movie, Zion. Terrible movie. All right, back up here. Transfer portal update today. Before we get to it, USFL. So, the former USFL president, now he got fired, but this guy, he stepped down, Brian Woods. Brian Woods has decided to make a super prep league for high schoolers. He wants to make a league where high schoolers in the spring go play football against other teams. 11-man football in the offseason. He's saying you can earn NIL from high school. You can earn NIL, and you're going to play, and you're going to go to these football games instead of going to recruiting camps, instead of going to 7-on-7 camps or spring football. The only problem is, excuse me, sounds like a good idea, I guess, but he wants to start it next year. Next year? That's not enough time. He put the cities out there. Atlanta, Cleveland, Dallas, Houston, Jersey, New Orleans, L.A., Miami, Phoenix, San Diego, San Francisco, and Tampa. First, it's too many damn teams. It's too many cities. That's number one. And then he wants to hire coaches in the next 2 to 3 months. Who the hell are you hiring? But it's to get you exposure instead of going to camps and to get you to demonstrate that you can play certain positions like the offense and defensive line, like quarterback with a live rush, but you do it in the offseason, kind of like AAU camps. It's the equivalent of AAU basketball, but he wants to do it for football. Sounds like a really good idea. I think it's going to take some time. And I also think they're going to want to televise these games because it sounds like all-star games. Now, the trick is, if you want to play in these games, you got to live in those cities. So it's limited to those cities versus other cities in the spring. Now, that's interesting because there's so many high school kids who are curious if their high school team is as good as others. And there's so many fans who want to pull for that. I think this is 5, 6, 7 years down the road if you plan it properly. And if you can fight the right financial backing, right? Now, his idea is the players got to pay to be a part of it. You don't get paid to be a part of it. You got to pay to be a part of it. Just like you pay registration to go to a camp, or to be a part of an AAU basketball team, you got to pay to be a part of one of these teams. And then try out and then go play, and you'll be on the all-star team against another all-star team. How are we doing this? How are we practicing? How are we getting better? But it sounds like the future. It's on ESPN. It's a man with an idea and a plan. I just don't know how it works. They're going to create an app so you can track people. They're going to put mechanisms on players so you can time their 40s during the game. You can time, how they react to things and what they do. They want to do some futuristic shit. So you guys can look into it. But he's calling it a prep super league. It'll be a 6-week season next year. I don't know. Sounds interesting. It intrigued me when I read it. I'll go to the chat. The chat. Rico's in a good mood. Thank you, Mike. Top-end players have no need to play in these games. Nobody's going to watch second or third-tier players. Kevin Bowers. People watch high school football every single Friday, and it's not top-tier high school football that they're watching. People watch football every single Friday because it's their kids, because it's their city and it's the representative for their hometown. If you can get a city behind the high school team or the all-star team from that city, they'll start watching, right? You want to see Gwinnett County, you want to see Atlanta versus LA, they'll start watching. People watch basketball games of high school teams all the time, and they're not NBA players in those games at all. That's probably not ideal. Now, the star players have no need to play in these games, and we say that, and they all play in the Under Armour All-American games. They all play in the All-American games. How did those start? Those started with an idea, and everybody was against it. Trust me. They talked about injuries and what's the need to do it, and you don't even know each other, and how do you go there and play and pass? There's an appeal for this. Now, it's just how do you structure it? How do you have employees for it? Because your employees got to be year-round. Marketing got to be year-round. It can't just be seasonal. That's the problem the XFL is facing right now. Did you see all the layoffs the XFL did? They laid off half their marketing teams, especially everybody in Vegas, right after the season because they can't afford to pay them for the next 5 months. These guys make more than the players. Like half of the budgeting, not even half. I don't like to use an improper number. But budgeting concerns with certain leagues is because you have to pay employees year-round. You can't have seasonal employees. So there's just a lot of infrastructure there. A lot of infrastructure issues. That's all. Nobody makes stupid takes yet. Nobody made stupid takes yet. Oh, so I'm in a good mood? Yeah. But when the first 5-star gets hurt and unable to play for their high school, then what? Yeah, so they're targeting, and they have it in the story, they're targeting sophomores and juniors, not seniors, because you want guys going into their senior year. So they're targeting juniors and seniors. D-man, guys get hurt at camps all the time. Guys get hurt at camps. They pull something. They twist something. They land something. Guys get hurt in basketball all the time. Your high school team is irrelevant to some extent. Your high school team does not matter. They're not the higher priority than your AAU basketball team. I can tell you that right now. Your high school basketball season is not a higher priority than the camp circuit in basketball. So as soon as people start realizing that, man, it just takes years. You just got to build it up. Will Texas win the SEC in the first 3 years they enter the SEC? I think they're primed to do it. I think they'll have a good quarterback. I think they have really good recruiting classes. I just can't predict the future like that, but they look really good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson needs to get better funding for the XFL. They have good funding. I think they're covered for the next 3 years at least. They can afford to take a loss and still be okay. Who is the bigger winner in the transfer portal? Western Kentucky or SMU? I got family members that go to both schools. Definitely SMU. They're one of the biggest winners in the transfer portal, no matter the school. SMU's definitely in the top 10. Western Kentucky, not so much. But SMU, phenomenally, they did extremely well in the transfer portal. Some you haven't seen ever. Some you haven't ever seen. All right, let me go talk about transfer portal. There's only 2 updates for tonight, and then we'll call it a night, guys. So here's the deal. Jalen Clem here, going from K-State to Washington. So Jalen Clem is a silver spoon kid. This is a rich kid. And he's not built for K-State. I want to make this very clear. Not built for K-State. Chris Kleiman's team is all about getting 3-star kids and making them NFL draft picks. Shout out to first-round picks, right? So Jalen Clem thought, hey, I'm tough. Hey, I can go make it at this school. I'll go over there. No, you won't, buddy. You get there, you see real blue-collar hard workers. Jason Clem, just so you know, Jalen Clem, his father played in the NFL for a long time. His father's been a coach everywhere. His father's currently an assistant coach at Oregon right now and the assistant head coach. This guy, and he had offers from Harvard. He's a silver spoon all the way, bro. He was born on third base. But the problem is he thinks he hit a triple. And he didn't hit a triple. He was just born on third base. When he got there, he realized, holy shit, these guys, he's only there for 1 year. These guys are real. They're chewing nails. I can't do this. So he hits the transfer portal. And Washington says, oh, we don't take transfers on the offensive line. Just so you guys know, Washington will not take transfers on the offensive line. They just won't. But they did this time. He's got 4 years of eligibility left. They think he's got a lot of potential. He'll eventually build up and all this other shit. I'm telling you right now, this guy's soft. Hey, he's softer than baby shit, y'all. Softer than baby shit. I watched the tape. I did all the research I could. You guys know. I didn't mean to stutter there. You guys know I don't drag kids unless they have character concerns. This man, just, I don't know. He's going to score a home run one day and make it to the NFL. Born on third base, bro. I can't get down with it. Jack Colson here. Jack Colson, this has to be a preferred walk-on. This cannot be a scholarship. If it is, outrageous. There are players in the transfer portal far better than Jack Colson. So he went to Holy Cross. Now, this is a kid from Florida, Boca Raton, another rich kid. And he played there. He was all, all conference, all whatever. But he wasn't anything special. He wasn't anything great. His offers were like Brown, what's another school like that? Penn, Dartmouth, like all the Ivy League schools. Cornell, Colgate, Columbia, those kind of schools. And he goes to Holy Cross. But he's been at Holy Cross for like 3 years. He ain't done shit. He ain't done a thing, bro. I'm telling you right now, he played in 5 games last year, 1 reception, 5 yards. Nothing special. It's like 7th string. I went and watched as much Holy Cross tape as I can find. I went and did all the research I could. As a matter of fact, I thought, instead of Jack Colson, I thought it was Jalen Coker, who's one of their star wide receivers. A big guy, a big play dude. This guy's 6'2", 205. But it's not a good signing for Kent State. But I'm hoping it's just a preferred walk-on since he's a rich kid, and it's fine. But these two right here, silver spoon kids, bro. They ain't nothing. They didn't improve those teams at all. Just keeping it real. Keeping it real. Probably not, but I could be wrong. Who's your favorite player that you think will break out this year? Jack Plummer. Jack Plummer, quarterback LSU. Louisville. Jack Plummer, number 1. That'll break out this year that you guys don't know. Let me show you this guy. So for the NFL draft, I was doing film research on UAB because I'm doing film on Dwayne McBride right here. This is a 1,700-yard rusher, 7 yards a carry, right? Drafted in the 7th round. Dwayne McBride has some fumble issues, 19 touchdowns. Dwayne McBride is such a beast. But when I tell you the change of pace back beneath Dwayne McBride was Jermaine Brown Jr. And Jermaine Brown Jr. is my breakout star. Now, it's hard to call him a breakout star because he rushed for 948 yards as a backup running back. 948 yards as a backup running back. This guy is great. And one thing that's remarkable about Jermaine Brown Jr. is this right here. He does not come off the field when they have to throw the ball. If you look at receiving stats, look at your boy Dwayne McBride, that superstar. 2 receptions all year, 10 yards. He can't catch. He's not a receiving threat. 2 receptions, 10 yards. Jermaine Brown Jr., 19 receptions. That number goes way up if he's the starting running back next year. And he will be the starting running back. And he has Trent Dilfer as a coach. I just really like this young man when I saw him on tape. Jermaine Brown Jr., that's a breakout star waiting to happen. That's how I feel about him. Just letting you know. There's obviously some 5-star guys at other schools, but I'm going with one obscure dude that no one talks about, and that's how I feel about it. So, Jermaine Brown Jr., you can go watch some tape on him. Rush for 900 yards. You're going to find film on him. It's just the nature of the beast. Oh, I'm about to hit 3K. Shout out to you guys. I'm about to hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just started maybe a month or 2 ago, and not really pressing it, not really stressing it, and it's organically happening. So I appreciate anybody who hits that subscribe button on YouTube. That's what we're trying to go. That's where we're growing. That's where the money's at, they tell me. But it is what it is. Let's see here. I remember McBride playing against LSU. He was good. What class is he? Oh, Brown's going to be a senior next year. Let's go. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Hey, guys, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you. We got it done in an hour and a half. Hey, and if your friends don't know, stop talking to them about sports because, Rico knows. Shout out. Have a good night, y'all.
When they come, and they will, they'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Well, I thought the beast had won it all.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat, concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion, talking killing rappers, then I hit my quota. And my train of thought is more a locomotive, talking reason for it, I got locomotive. Used to be on a revenge tip, on a stun on my ex and a friend's tip. I was Spider-Man whipping the black suit, I was powerful but almost lost Luke. Blurring the line between human and artist, try not to change but I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up they turn you to a target. Home was a trip, all I did when I'm talking. So, what it take to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. My me with the label, it feels on the table one sign, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking missiles of hits, but other than me, I see no heat exist. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green, go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me, know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee, Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, green, green. I'm about to go green, green, green. I'm about to go green, green. I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green. I might begin making a feature a rack. Cause when I hit your beat, I turn shit to Iraq. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This your house, then I'm kicking you out. Quiet